she a suspect?
There's no way of knowing if that will be the case. Their goal, of course, to try to set a timetable and a venue for future talks, Judy.
All right, Andrea Koppel reporting from the State Department. Thank you. And thanks to all of you for joining us on Worldview. I'm Judy Woodruff.
I'm Bernard Shaw. The Moneyline News Hour is next.
Tonight, wild price swings on Wall Street. The Nasdaq turns a huge sell-off into a full-blown rally. And more good news after the bell. CMGI beats the street and its stock soars in after-hours trading. Bricks and clicks team up. We'll ask Yahoo CEO Tim Kugel whether his deal with Kmart will be a blue light special. And our special Moneyline series continues. We'll hear from Amazon's Jeff Bezos on conquering e-commerce in the 21st century. And Stuart Varney talks with Boeing's chief pilot about whether there is a new economy.
You are a true believer.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
This is the Moneyline News Hour. Reporting tonight from New York, Willow Bay.
Good evening. Stuart is off tonight. The Dow's two newest members spared it from another losing session. Microsoft and Intel led a hard-charging rally in technology, one that accounted for all of the Dow's 65-point gain. It was a volatile session, one of the busiest of the year for both the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. Rhonda Schaffler has more in today's Street Sweep.
A morning sell-off gave way to a technology turnaround as investors found it hard to stay away from top-tier techs. The NASDAQ composite bounced back from a nearly 70-point decline to close up 50. Microsoft led the advance. The software giant went into overdrive as investors celebrated the completion of the next-generation operating system, Windows 2000. Traders boosted Oracle shares even more after its earnings beat expectations, both published and whispered. So-called bargain hunters went after Intel. The chipmaker stock has slumped in recent weeks. Still, some analysts think the tech sector is running on fumes.
I think it's a question of trying to figure out when we have this correction in the technology. We may be in the midst of it, and it's a question of where that money's going to go.
Today, it went into more than the sexy stocks. Plain Jane cyclicals drew more than a passing glance. Among the big winners, paper and petroleum. Dow Component International Paper plus rivals Weyerhaeuser and Georgia Pacific all benefited from word paper supplies are tight and prices could go up next year. The energy sector rose along with oil prices, but in the end, it was Intel and Microsoft that helped lift the Dow Industrials, which closed up 65 points to end at 11,225. Still, decliners beat out advancers on the big board by a narrow margin.
The breast statistics have been horrible for a long time and aren't particularly compelling at the moment. However, I think momentum can overcome technical obstacles temporarily. I think that's the path we're on.
As for the path for the rest of this week, about the only potential obstacle is trading related to the expiration of certain options and futures. That could lead to more wild swings in prices like we saw today. Willow?
Rhonda, we're seeing some awfully busy sessions, aren't we?
I know. Suddenly these billion-share days are becoming the norm on Wall Street. That, too, has to do a little bit with the fact that option expirations are coming up, and that trend could last through the week.
All right, Rhonda Schaffler from the New York Stock Exchange. Thank you. One stock that could give the market a boost tomorrow, CMGI. After the closing bell, CMGI reported a smaller than expected quarterly loss. The internet investment firm lost $1.08 a share. Revenues more than tripled to $123 million. CMGI stock shot up 30.25 in after-hours trading after losing $6 in the regular session. The stock has exploded this year as the company acted as sort of a mutual fund, buying up stakes in various online companies. One NASDAQ loser today, Cisco Systems. The stock fell too in very heavy trading. In a quarterly filing with the SEC, Cisco said it expected sales growth to slow down. But analysts rushed to downplay the filing, saying Cisco is only reiterating what it has said several times before. And Cisco's CIO agreed in an appearance earlier on CNN.
I guess from our perspective, it seems to be unwarranted attention on boilerplate language that's been in those reports in the past. So to be very clear, we are not changing the guidance that we have been giving at our last quarterly report and our last analyst conference call.
Even with today's decline, Cisco stock has been a stellar performer, more than doubling this year alone. The SEC is trying to make sure small investors are not the last to know a company's market-moving information. Regulators are proposing new rules that are aimed at weeding out favoritism on Wall Street. From Washington, Kelly Arena has the story.
It's an exclusive club, and some members have been getting special treatment, which is exactly what regulators want to change. If the SEC gets its way,
When a company discloses material information, it does so through public disclosure rather than limiting initial access to such information for the benefit of a privileged and select few.
We sold 35 at 18.
currently companies can discuss their outlooks privately with Wall Street analysts before sharing that information publicly with shareholders. The SEC has wanted to change that, but enforcement has been difficult.
The Supreme Court has given a very narrow definition to insider trading, which requires that there really be a financial benefit paid by the analyst to the corporate executive.
While no one is arguing against a more level playing field, there is concern about a chilling effect on information flow.
Companies already feel that they have to be extremely careful about what they say and how they say it. A new level of regulation may make that more troubling to them, and they may choose to avoid it.
But representatives of small investors disagree.
Shareholders look for companies who are responsive to them and to their interests, who want to be honest about what's going on.
According to bestcalls.com, a website posting open conference calls, its listings have more than doubled this year. Securities lawyers predict that number will grow.
While the SEC did not spell out how companies must share information, lawyers say open conference calls are one of the easiest ways to comply with the proposed rule. Kelly Arena, CNN Financial News, Washington.
In Seattle today, Boeing announced orders for 183 planes, bringing its 1999 total to 368. Rival Airbus, however, is still ahead for the year. Later on Moneyline, Stuart Varney asked Phil Condit how Boeing can avoid turbulence in the new economy. Our special series continues. At the top of the non-business news digest tonight, significant developments on Middle East peace and war.
United States.
In Washington, President Clinton opened the first of 2 days of talks between Israeli Prime Minister Barak and Syrian Foreign Minister al-Shara. Negotiations got off to a rocky start when the two men refused to shake hands. And from Jordan's parliament, confirmation tonight that they have arrested 13 people allegedly linked to terrorist Osama bin Laden. The 13 are accused of plotting attacks against the United States and Jordan. A stinging rebuttal tonight to the congressional report that laid out the case detailing Chinese nuclear espionage efforts. Analysts at Stanford University say the Cox Committee report is misleading, inaccurate, and has damaged U.S.-Chinese relations unnecessarily. Representative Cox says he stands by the report's findings. There's much more news ahead on Moneyline. Let's take a look at some of the stories we'll have for you. We begin with Peter Viles. Peter?
Well, a stunning rally today in Microsoft shares. The rally created more than $49 billion in new market value. Ahead, what's driving the stock and an update on Bill Gates' personal fortune.
I'm Greg Clark, and it's the internet firm of internet firms, CMGI, still losing money, but its stock is soaring in after-hours trading.
And I'm Fred Katayama. The world's largest oil company says it'll cut more costs than it had planned. It could save as much money as Microsoft earns in a year, but it comes at a human cost, an additional 7,000 jobs.
Also coming up, a wizard of cyberspace meets a king of Main Street in what may become the hottest new trend in retailing. We'll get the lowdown on a big new deal from Yahoo chairman and CEO Tim Kugel.
From CNN's New York headquarters, this is the Moneyline News Hour.
We all romanticize freedom. At Putnam Investments, we celebrate boundaries, the unsung glory of staying within the lines. We call it truth in labeling. It means we adhere to the investment parameters of every mutual fund, retirement, and pension plan. We don't stray beyond borders to dabble with people's destinies. What investors own is what they bought. Sometimes thinking inside the box is what sets people free.
Well, hi,
folks. Boy, nasty weather, isn't it?
Honeywell specialized chemicals.
An air conditioner that's safer for the environment.
Cool, Dad.
Smart sensors.
Look, honey, this dishwasher saves water and energy. Cool, Mom.
And on-site power systems are the secrets behind efficient, environmentally friendly products.
Dad, look.
It's okay. The store has on-site power, so it runs well, even in a power outage.
How well? Honeywell.
Shop the world's finest brands under one roof. Yours. LuxuryFinder.com. For the holidays.
Imagine the most majestic landscapes. And then imagine completing them. Presenting the Fairmont Collection. Grand hotels inspired by the grandeur of their surroundings. The Fairmont Collection. Extraordinary hotels in extraordinary places.
Tonight, on The World Today, day one of the Israel-Syria peace talks. Was there any progress or only setbacks in these complicated negotiations? Complete coverage from Washington and the Middle East on The World Today, 8 Eastern on CNN.
Tonight's corporate headlines: Dun & Bradstreet will separate into two publicly traded companies. Goldman Sachs will help spin off Moody's Investor Service from the commercial credit business. Dun & Bradstreet gained nearly 2 3/4. Time Warner wants access to new technologies and talent. The parent company of this network established a $500 million fund to invest in digital media opportunities. Time Warner already has stakes in WebMD, OpenTV, and Replay networks. And more management changes at Coca-Cola. The soft drink giant named Gary Fayard as its chief financial officer and added Douglas Daft to the board. He will succeed CEO Douglas Ivester in April. Coca-Cola down more than 1.5 today. Well, two big deals at the leading edge between Main Street and cyberspace. Yahoo teamed up with Kmart as America Online plugged into Circuit City in deals that may change the face of both retailing and e-tailing. Steve Young reports.
Attention Kmart shoppers. Come late spring or early summer, there's going to be a blue light special on bluelight.com, not in aisle 5. That's Kmart's internet company, announced today in partnership with Yahoo. Kmart believes its new internet strategy will help it build its business in the coming millennium while the company plays to its strengths.
We're able to buy product at prices that are dramatically lower than many of the internet sites. In addition to that, we have 40 million customers coming through our stores each week that are anxious to shop the internet in many cases, and in some cases for product that we currently don't offer, and those products will be expanded.
Martha Stewart's media company will be part of the partnership as Kmart gives shoppers free internet service and personalized content.
Kmart has propelled itself from being behind the curve to really putting itself ahead of the curve, really distinguishing itself from its competitors.
Separately, Circuit City has agreed to promote AOL's products and services. In the flip side of that relationship, AOL will feature Circuit City on its online shopping channels. Reports continue to swirl that AOL wants to hook up with Walmart. No comment from either company. That would wed the world's biggest web services company with the world's biggest retailer. But analysts don't think AOL would feel pressured to make its service free.
I'd be very surprised if, given their success in the U.S. market, that they would go down the road of offering free ISP service. I think if they do anything with Walmart, the smartest thing to do would be making it more of a marketing deal.
The alliances are all about leveraging clicks and bricks, shopping in the virtual and real worlds. Steve Young, CNN Financial News, New York.
Yahoo's entry into the S&P 500 has sent the stock soaring. It is up 79% since news of the inclusion November 30th and up 173% this year. For more on its future, we spoke a short while ago with Tim Kugel, the company's chairman and chief executive. My first question, how will Yahoo benefit from its alliance with Kmart?
Oh, at least two ways. First off, you know, an interesting wrinkle in this particular one is that Kmart is, as you know, distributing free internet access, if you will, on a disk that defaults to Yahoo. And in addition to that, it defaults to Yahoo, My Yahoo, and creates modules for those users so they have free email and free instant message product from Yahoo, et cetera. So it's a distribution source for us. especially among all those new users who have not yet come onto the web, number one. Secondly, there's obviously a commerce relationship we have with Kmart, and it continues to get deeper.
Now, you and Kmart, there's some speculation about Walmart and AOL. Why the rush to build these alliances with retailers?
You know, it's not a particular rush that's being driven by anything except for the fact that we've created a large footprint, as you know, in Yahoo with over 100 million users, and created also in Yahoo a bunch of platform-based commerce services that they can avail themselves of. So, you know, we've gotten to critical mass. We have a large number of users, an increasing number of merchants, and tying those merchants and buyers and sellers together is hugely attractive for those guys. But more to your point, I think you will see, if I were to predict, an increasing number of very large retailers and possibly branded goods manufacturers that are coming online and coming online through partnerships to reach an existing very large audience of buyers out there. It's gotten to critical mass.
Are these alliances effective at not just increasing your advertising revenue, but increasing your other revenue streams, which I know Wall Street, in your case, is particularly interested in?
Sure, absolutely. You know, basically we're driving new users onto Yahoo and in a personalized version. And so, you know, we've done a pretty good job to date of getting and keeping a large audience. We're growing that aggressively. And all of those new users, you know, go down and consume advertising, consume commerce offerings, etc.
You're really working hard, I know, on Yahoo Shopping. So how's the shopping season going so far?
It's going really well. It's, you know, we're obviously in a quiet period, but we released a little bit of info, if you will, to the media a couple, 3 weeks back, and the season's been very, very strong.
Your stock was recently, I guess last week, added to the S&P. Any predictions as to when it will be added to the Fortune 500?
Are you serious?
Go ahead, take a guess.
We feel very fortunate. You know, it was a huge compliment that we got added to the S&P. We just continued to focus on building the business as fast as we can.
Tim Kugel, thanks as always for joining us. Know why he's laughing so hard? Unlike the S&P 500, the Fortune 500 ranks by revenue. The company at the very bottom of that list, a metal products firm called Ball, which pulls in $2.9 billion. Yahoo's 1998 sales, $203 million. Coming up, Hasbro is bringing your favorite games into the 21st century. But can video Scrabble compete with the likes of Doom? We'll ask the CEOs of Hasbro and GoToNet, its online partner. That is next.
Leading Edge is brought to you by Dell, pioneering direct internet ideas for your business. Be direct. Dell.
It seems that the first rule of business today is to be an e-business. The second rule is to work with a company who pioneered the direct way of using the internet as a business tool. Dell built their business around this direct model, which made them a forerunner in e-business. They provided the equipment we needed to use the internet to establish one-to-one relationships with our customers. With Dell's help, we're breaking down the walls between our ideas and reality.
Be direct. Dell. Dell workstations use Intel Pentium 3 processors.
Today we step on the gas in a brand new vehicle with 0 miles on the clock and over 200 years of experience behind the wheel. ExxonMobil.
Log on to dsports.com and take $20 off your purchase of $50 or more. dsports.com. Seize the D.
Can a computer think? Can it learn? Can software be developed that acts exactly like the human brain? For 50 years, that's been the question. Today, Nugents are the answer. Using a patented breakthrough in neural network technology, Computer Associates has created the first software that can think. Imagine what this new software can do for your business. Nugents, software that can think.
that hit 52-week highs today: Microsoft, Oracle, Computer Sciences, Guess, and Toyota Motor. Also hitting a 52-week high, Gucci. It soared more than 13. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter resumed coverage with a strong buy. Verity sank nearly 23, trading at 46 times its normal volume. Bank of America downgraded the business software firm after it missed second quarter estimates. And Windstar Communications soared 10 3/4. Microsoft and other investors will take a $900 million stake in the company. Windstar offers internet and broadband communication services. The maker of board game classics like Monopoly and Clue is bringing that kind of fun to cyberspace. Hasbro has signed a licensing deal with GoToNet to develop a games website. GoToNet is already a favorite of Wall Street's. The stock gained nearly 11 3/4 today and is up 913% this year, while Hasbro has been reeling from shrinking demand for traditional toys like dolls and action figures. The stock fell 1 1/4 today and is off 51% from its high. Joining us now from Chicago, Hasbro CEO Alan Hasselfeld and Russell Horowitz, CEO of GoToNet. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi, Willow.
Nice to be with you.
Russ, I'd like to start with you. Games.com, what is it, and is it just for kids?
Actually, is that directed to Alan or to Russell?
Russell, why don't you go ahead and start?
Actually, Games.com is the site that Hasbro is launching with GoToNet's technology from our PlaySite multiplayer gaming site. It's really focused on games for everyone. Hasbro has really an unduplicated portfolio of brands. You mentioned some of them: Monopoly, Clue, Risk, Scrabble, Battleship. The list goes on. And you're taking the portfolio of premier brands that have not been offered to everybody on the internet before, and the premier technology from GoToNet, technology we've been developing for the last 2.5 years that will allow us to take those games, make them available to any user, any operating system, whether it's Windows, Mac, or Linux, and deliver to any internet appliance, whether it's a PC, a TV set-top box, or otherwise. So this is really the sounding bell for the games category emerging as the killer application.
Now, Russ, you already have another games site on the GoTo network. Is there enough demand for two sites?
In this case, I think it makes a lot of sense in terms of how we structure the deal, and we can both create a lot of value for our companies. With PlaySite, we'll have an opportunity to deliver some of those brands, but perhaps most importantly, and where there's a lot of value created for both companies, GoToNet is the content technology provider to Paul Allen's broadband assets, which includes Charter Communications, the 4th largest cable company. That and the other interests represent over 7 million homes that ultimately can deliver broadband services. And if you look at multiplayer games as again, a killer app for broadband, GoToNet with this co-branded Games.com offering can bring that into the home through a broadband pipe.
Alan, I'd like to ask you, last week you announced a major restructuring, part of an effort to, as you put it, stay one step ahead of the toy business. Is this Games.com part of the solution?
Absolutely, Willow. What we have been saying and leading people to is we love the basic toy business, but we're moving more and more to a games and entertainment company. Over the last 2 years, we have been trying any content that was not nailed down, such as Avalon Hill, Microprose, the Atari Library, and just recently Wizards of the Coast, were all part of this strategy where we really felt that the key down the road, not only today in the internet, but as we move more and more towards broadbanding, is going to be content.
Question for you about understanding that you're moving more in the direction of becoming an entertainment company, but quick question on toy sales. I know Star Wars toys, that's tough going, but what about Pokemon? Is that picking up any of the slack, and are you seeing any positive signs this holiday season?
Willa, for us, it's actually a very good holiday season. As you know, we hold the master toy license that Nintendo gave to us on Pokemon. We also, Furby has been just incredible, and au contraire, we will do at least, I think through retail, $550 to $600 million on Star Wars. So for us, it's been, a very good Christmas.
Good Christmas, but do you have any sense of why Wall Street has reacted the way it did to the deal? Why it sent your stock down?
I have a feeling that we did not necessarily explain everything. People did not realize that Hasbro owns 100% of Games.com, and that in the Games.com space, we do not revenue share with GoToNet except in in the common, in the games that are on the play site right now.
Well, Alan, you certainly did a good job in explaining it to us tonight. Congrats on the deal. Thank you. Thank both of you.
Thanks, Willow. Good holiday.
You too. Coming up, Buick nets a tiger, but will it help sell cars?
I grew up in Manila. It was a difficult life. My parents were poor. Some days we didn't have enough food. I went to bed hungry. When I was in high school, I made a decision that I would work for a better life than that. I saw that education was the key to get out of my poverty. After school, I put all of my worldly belongings in 2 suitcases and moved away. I earned 5 teaching credentials and a master's degree. I started learning about investing by reading. I'm very comfortable making my own investment decisions. You have to tell yourself that you can do it, and you will. In time, I have seen those stocks and mutual funds grow. I still live frugally, although I don't have to. I still ask questions. Learning is a lifelong process.
Judy Ko is one of the extraordinary people who invests responsibly with Fidelity. We can help you do the same. For your guide, visit fidelity.com.
Doing what's natural means doing what's right for you. Like Novasoy isoflavones from ADM. Made from soybeans, you'll find Novasoy in dietary supplements that carry this leaf. Isoflavones can help your body maintain cardiovascular health, healthy bones, and ease midlife changes. Novasoy isoflavones from ADM. Do what comes naturally.
When was the last time you felt 284 horses tugging at your soul? When was the last time you immersed yourself in hand-tufted virgin leather? Can you really put a price on this kind of perfection? Actually, you can, because this $70,000 car could cost you over $326,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Tonight, on the Emmy Award-winning Larry King Live, we'll have a millennium's worth of guests throughout December. Tonight, Larry's special guest is actor Jim Carrey. It's a millennium month of guests. Tonight, 9 Eastern and all month, only on CNN.
Finally, this half hour, a big bucks business deal. Buick signed up a tiger on the golf course in hopes of getting some help in the showroom. The General Motors unit wrapped up a multi-year deal with Tiger Woods that analysts say may help Buick reach a more upscale audience. USA Today put the price tag at $20 to $25 million.
As people know, that Buick is very close with family values and morals, and this is something that fits into what I believe and what I've grown up in. And it's something I just can't wait to get started in and can't wait to be part of it.
Buick showed Tiger all that money, though his popularity, according to so-called marketing evaluations, still lags behind Michael Jordan, Mark McGwire, and Sammy Sosa. In the next half hour of Moneyline, our special new economy series continues. In a world dazzled by .com, can an old-fashioned manufacturer prosper? Boeing CEO tells Stuart Varney the answer is yes. And is this a company on the edge of a wired revolution? We'll go inside an Amazon warehouse and hear from CEO Jeff Bezos.
Keeping pace with the pulse of the street. In the Money, the smart place to turn before you invest. Weekdays 11 Eastern on CNN.
The action, the excitement, the glory. The NFL on ESPN. From our studio shows to a full season of ESPN Sunday Night Football. ESPN has the best in-depth coverage of the NFL on and off the field. The NFL is on ESPN.
Brought to you locally by your Northwest Ford dealer.
Come aboard! The freshest catch from the crystal waters of the Pacific is heading your way. Rush to McGrath's Fish House and prepared to perfection for this month's special, the Shrimp Scampi Combo. Tender Pacific shrimp sautéed in garlic over angel hair pasta. Mesquite broiled shrimp on a skewer served with fresh garden salad and warm sourdough, all for just $8.99. Enjoy the Shrimp Scampi Combo, just $8.99 at McGrath's Fish House. Don't miss it.
Since The X-Files premiered on FX,
Alien sightings are up 68%. Coincidence? We think not. The X-Files on FX. Please watch responsibly.
Men, do you want to see your abs and increase muscle definition? Women, how would you like a toned body with cellulite-free hips and thighs? Turn these visions into reality with the best-selling video, Fitness Made Simple, hosted by fitness celebrity John Bastow.
In 8 weeks, I totally transformed my body from this to this. Fitness Made Simple worked for me, and it can work for you too.
Order Fitness Made Simple by calling toll-free and be on the way to building the body of your dreams.
Sports Tonight with Fred and Vince, 11 Eastern on CNN. Moneyline continues. Here again, Willow Bay.
ExxonMobil delivers good news for Wall Street, bad news for employees. The new oil giant is cutting thousands more jobs to help save billions of dollars. And after-hours blockbuster from one of the hottest dot-coms on Wall Street, and a century-old company and a brand new one. Tonight, the focus of our new economy series turns to Boeing and Amazon.com. But we begin with Microsoft and its mighty rally. The stock today bolted to an all-time high and added $49 billion to its market capitalization, a gain that's almost equal to the entire value of General Motors. Peter Viles joins us now with more on Microsoft's big day. Peter?
Well, there is some news and some speculation behind this rally. First, the news. Microsoft released its new Windows 2000 operating system for high-end computers, high hopes about that system, and took an equity stake in WinStar Communications. Now the speculation that Microsoft and the government are close to a settlement in the landmark antitrust trial. Both the government and Microsoft dismissing those rumors as unfounded. In any event, the result today, Microsoft shares up more than $9 to close above $108. That stock now $17 above where it traded when Judge Jackson first ruled that the company is in fact a monopoly. With today's gains, Microsoft's market cap now stands at $558 billion, solidifying its position as the most valuable company in the world. And of course, that means that Bill Gates tonight is richer still, tonight worth about $85 billion and change. In fairness to Mr. Gates, he would be worth about $20 billion more, but he has been selling stock over the past couple of years to pay for his charitable donations. Willow?
Peter, what exactly is the government saying about the speculation?
Prior to this week, they had said no comment to any questions about the negotiations. They changed their tune this week. They are saying that these rumors are unfounded.
Peter Biles, thank you. Microsoft helped both the Dow and the NASDAQ recover from wild swings to post solid gains. The Dow Industrials jumped 65 points to end at 11,225. Microsoft accounted for 47 of those Dow points. Volume on the big board, more than 1 billion shares. Despite that gain, losers outpaced winners by an 8-7 margin. Again, the ratio of highs to lows was huge. 48 stocks hit new 52-week highs. 438 stocks hit new lows. The NASDAQ swung within a 118-point trading range, finally ending up 50 points to close at 3621. Volume was heavy at more than 1.6 billion shares. Intel also lifted the NASDAQ and the Dow, but there were several tech losers. Cisco, which came under pressure after the company repeated a warning that sales growth would slow. IBM and Sun Microsystems. Shares of ExxonMobil gained today. The world's biggest oil company said it expects greater cost savings from its recent merger, but also deeper job cuts. Fred Katayama has more.
For shareholders, the black gold at the newly merged ExxonMobil is looking even blacker, but not for some workers. At its first analyst meeting, the oil company said it will cut nearly 80% more jobs, some 7,000 workers, than initially planned. That, it says, should help unearth an additional $1 billion in savings.
The synergy benefits are greater than previously forecasted and are likely to be realized sooner. But our enthusiasm goes beyond numbers. What we see is a company exceptionally well placed.
ExxonMobil now expects to save nearly $4 billion from the merger. But even before their union, the two companies had cut costs more than $1 billion, so ExxonMobil could produce total savings of $5 billion, roughly equal to what Microsoft earned all of last year. Toss in the sale of some assets, and the merger should boost net profits by about $1 billion next year.
Exxon and Mobil tend to be very conservative companies. Usually when they give you a target, there is a very good chance that they can not only achieve that, and they can perhaps exceed that.
To achieve those savings, 16,000 workers will lose their jobs over the next 3 years. 6,000 of them through what the company called normal or accelerated retirements. Not to be outdone, rival Royal Dutch Shell today boosted its cost-cutting target to $4 billion and said it will slash its workforce by 18%, or 18,000 positions. Back at ExxonMobil, the company says it'll raise $4 to $5 billion by selling assets required by regulators for the merger. Among other things, it's selling more than 2,400 gas stations and a California refinery. Willa?
Fred Katayama, thank you. Well, checking Wall Street's reaction to today's announcement, shares of ExxonMobil gained nearly 3/4 to 83 1/16. Oil prices also moved higher today. Last night, the American Petroleum Institute said crude inventories fell to their lowest level since January of 1997. A barrel of light sweet crude up 63 cents to $26.36. Coming up next on Moneyline, why a multi-million-dollar loss is still good news to CMGI investors. We'll tell you why the stock is soaring in after-hours trading. That's after the break.
Come on, honey, don't forget your pack. Have a great day at school, honey. Love ya.
Honeywell, the secret behind comfort and security at home.
Who knows what kind of reptile comes from an egg? Yes.
Turtle.
That's right.
And the secret behind safety and efficiency in buildings.
How'd your day go?
Went good, Dad.
Went well, son.
How well? Honeywell.
We all romanticize freedom. At Putnam Investments, we celebrate boundaries, the unsung glory of staying within the lines. We call it truth in labeling. It means we adhere to the investment parameters of every mutual fund, retirement, and pension plan. We don't stray beyond borders to dabble with people's destinies. What investors own is what they bought. Sometimes thinking inside the box is what sets people free.
Tonight's Moneyline movers. Oracle soared 13 3/8. Several analysts upgraded the software maker or raised their price targets. Late yesterday, Oracle beat second quarter estimates. Motorola surged more than 10.5. It will team up with Redback Networks to speed up the time it takes cable companies to hook up new subscribers to the internet. And Advantage Learning Systems down 11 5/8. The educational software firm said fourth quarter earnings will fall below estimates. It blames the shortfall on shipment delays and lower sales. A big move after the bell by CMGI. The stock shot higher after the so-called Internet Incubator reported a smaller than expected loss. Greg Clarkin was on the conference call, and he has more on CMGI's results. Greg?
Well, Willow, CMGI lost $1.08 a share last quarter, and that is much better than the expectations of a loss of $1.76 a share. Now, the company, which owns stakes in dozens of internet firms, including the search engine Alta Vista, says revenue grew to $123 million, way above the $53 million it posted last quarter. Fund manager Paul Cook says the numbers, they are strong, but he says investors really would be wise to keep in mind that this company is very hard to value.
I would caution investors not to read too terribly much into these earnings numbers, other than they continue to execute perhaps ahead of plan. But recognize it's not like they're an operating company, making widgets.
Now, CMGI finished lower on the day, but it is absolutely soaring in after-hours trading. According to the folks over at Instinet, we have it now up 35 and a fraction, trading at $235 on very heavy volume. Better than 500,000 shares have traded in after hours, and that is extremely heavy volume for the extended trading session. Now, part of that run-up undoubtedly due to the 2-for-1 stock split the company announced along with that earnings report. And on the conference call, CMGI executives said you can expect the company to do even more deals, especially for internet advertising firms, and watch for expansion into international internet companies. Willow?
Thanks, Greg. Greg Clarkin reporting. Next on Moneyline, our special New Economy series continues, rewiring the Boeing production line for the digital age. Stuart Varney gets the master plan from Boeing's master builder, CEO Phil Condit. Stay with us.
When was the last time you felt 284 horses tugging at your soul? When was the last time you immersed yourself in hand-tufted virgin leather? Can you really put a price on this kind of perfection? Actually, you can, because this $70,000 car could cost you over $326,000 in retirement savings. We just thought you should know. Ask a financial advisor about Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Imagine the most majestic landscapes, and then imagine completing them. Presenting the Fairmont Collection, grand hotels inspired by the grandeur of their surroundings. The Fairmont Collection, extraordinary hotels in extraordinary places.
Sunday on CNN Perspectives. They're known around the world as predators and carnivores, but as their population increases, so do concerns over their survival. But the fight to protect wolves is creating a crisis in areas where humans live and farm. Join CNN's Gary Stryker as he travels the globe to report on this worldwide conflict between man and animal. Planet Wolf, a documentary from CNN Perspectives. Sunday on CNN.
Tonight on CNN Newsstand, he's invaded the inner city, teaching children chess. But it's more than about winning and losing. How the chess club is motivating disadvantaged students to learn some of life's most valuable lessons. CNN Newsstand, tonight, 10 Eastern.
We're at the brink of a new millennium. CNN, in a landmark television event, presents 100 hours on 100 issues. Issues that affect our environment, our health, our lives. CNN's top journalists, world leaders, and distinguished guests interact live from across the planet to explore the challenges that will shape our world for generations to come. Millennium 2000, beginning New Year's Eve at 5 a.m. Eastern on CNN.
In tonight's Moneyline Focus, our special series continues with a new economy look at one of America's most venerable companies. Boeing has ruled the global skies throughout this century as one of the nation's most important manufacturers. But as we head into the next century, high-tech startups have grabbed all the glory from old-line companies like Boeing. Faced with changing times and a slew of production problems, Boeing leadership is attempting a makeover. Just last week, Stuart Varney touched down at the company's Seattle headquarters.
It's 10 a.m. on Boeing Field, and this brand new 737-800 is taking its maiden voyage, bound for induction into the fleet of Continental Airlines. The jet is one of some 620 commercial aircraft delivered this year by the legendary company that's defined the aviation business this century. Boeing's roots trace back to this barn, where a Yale dropout named Bill Boeing began building planes during World War I. His company grew into both a manufacturer and the original United Airlines until the government broke it up in the 30s. From there, Boeing took off, supplying the war effort and evolving over a half-century into a $56 billion company and the nation's biggest exporter. But the 1990s has been a turbulent decade for Boeing, even as the economy has boomed. This cavernous factory an hour outside Seattle stretches across 98 acres and looks like a model of efficiency. But 2 years ago, it was part of a production nightmare that cost Boeing billions, the company unable to keep up with a deluge of orders. It was a fiasco. Critics suggested that Boeing had missed out on the new economy by failing to harness new technology. The man out to change that impression, CEO Phil Condit.
The history of Boeing is one of change. We have adapted as time goes along.
Condit has spent plenty of time on the tarmac, joining Boeing as an engineer in his early 20s. He's watched Boeing grow into a consummately global company. And you put this together from all around the world, I take it?
Yes, yeah. In fact, the vertical fin is from mainland China, from Xi'an.
Yeah.
There are parts and pieces from all over the world. And yes, each one of those, when they come together, have to fit when they arrive.
Right.
All off of an electronic design.
And that just underscores the incredible complexity of turning a 20th century landmark into a new economy powerhouse.
In your 34 years at Boeing, could you tell us how you think the economy has changed, the big picture economy? How's it changed?
Dramatically. Information technology has changed the way we do almost everything. It's changed our products. It's changed the things we do. So I've seen phenomenal differences.
Now, wait a minute, you say it's changed your products.
Oh, yeah.
It's changed the way you do things, but you're still building airplanes. I mean,
Right.
There's no difference there, is there?
Well, if I were to take you down to Palmdale today, where we're assembling 2 prototypes for the Joint Strike Fighter, those 2 prototypes are going to be built by a total of 58 people. Everything fits. It was totally designed electronically. All of the parts came from different places, but everyone goes into place. So the old way of building the airplane is completely different.
Have you, to be honest, have you had trouble implementing an internet digital strategy when it comes to actually putting it in place? You run up against some roadblocks?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's scale. It's how big it is. An airplane is millions of parts. And to put that all together, to tie all of the systems together in a way that really works is a huge challenge.
Now, you've been here at Boeing for 34 years, but this new economy is very, very new, isn't it? Did it suddenly dawn on you that things had changed in the last couple of years? When did it arrive, do you think?
I think people began to understand it in the last 4 or 5 years. I think it's been there. You know, a lot of us invested heavily in information technology. And then we wondered very seriously, where did that investment go? We put in computer networks, we tied things together, but you didn't see the shift in productivity. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing it. And it's there, and it's real, and it's changing business.
Was there a moment that you recall thinking, this is it, this is different?
I think there were a series of moments. There were events that came along. One of them was when we made the decision that we would design the 777 totally electronically. No mock-up, no drawings. And that is a major shift. When I came to Boeing, we were doing drawings on Mylar with ink. We were building master models out of plaster that we took our tools from. And then to say, we are going to build one without a single drawing. That was one of those moments.
Can you tell us where you might think this is going? Look down the road, just a few years. Can you tell us how information technology will change what you're doing now?
Absolutely. One, we will be in communication anywhere in the world we want to be. Back to the idea that mobile platforms. Now think about doing business on an airplane. When I started again, you got on an airplane and you read a book. In fact, it was sort of neat. You got to read a book. To be totally connected in an airplane, not to be out of touch, changes the dynamic of how you use the airplane. I think we will see airplanes that are more dedicated to business.
What are the threats, do you think? What dark clouds are there on the horizon which threatens either our current prosperity, the boom times that we've got, or the future of information technology?
I think the one that worries me most is the increasing speed, and how do we manage that process, and do we lose track of it? My father's generation, you could go to school, learn a subject, and use it through your entire career. Now it's probably 2 or 3 shifts in a career. The next generation is liable to be 4 or 5. Can we manage a complex global economy? I think we're going to have international institutions that have to deal with some of these things.
We've got a boom in progress, and we have for some time in the general economy. Do you see it continuing?
We all take very deep breaths and think about it, and the answer today, I think, is yes. I think that what this new economy, this new technology will do is as big as the change from an agrarian economy to an industrial economy. I think it's that big.
You are a true believer.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Next on Moneyline, our new economy special continues behind the scenes at Amazon. What looks a lot like your average brick and mortar operation will show you a different vision of the world's biggest e-tailer. That's next.
Moneyline Focus is brought to you by The Hartford. Whatever life brings you, bring it on.
Possibility 1, she catches it. Thanks to her Hartford mutual funds, she can afford a wedding of her own. Possibility 2, she catches it and takes out 3 bridesmaids. The Hartford covers the damage they do to her car after the reception. Possibility number 3, she misses it. With our top-selling annuities, who needs a man anyway? Whatever life brings you, bring it on.
He's man's best friend. Always there when you need him. Faithful to the end. So it's good to know that if you don't keep up with internet technology, someone will still be there for you.
My buddies and I are trying to take better care of ourselves. Now, okay, maybe our wives are making us. So last night I picked up these buffalo wings from Morningstar Farms. They're made from vegetables and grains.
Hey, let's see what happens when I tell them.
Hey guys, did you know these are meat-free?
Which is a bigger surprise? How good they are, or how good they are for you? Morningstar Farms. Enjoy eating better.
We don't keep ourselves at a safe distance.
We don't have blind faith.
We read.
We listen.
We learn.
We plan to retire rich.
$7.95 stock trades, low margin interest rates, comprehensive research. ShoreTrade.com, the smart tool for smart investors.
The next stop in our special series, Amazon.com. It was back in the fall of 1995 that the Seattle Times first wrote of a big new bookstore in town, one like no other. Less than 5 years later, Amazon has gone way beyond books, with sales of more than $500 million and a market cap more than double that of Sears. But there's one thing Amazon can't brag about: making money. And even in a new economy, good old-fashioned profits are still what it's all about. Casey Wyan reports.
Amazon.com is a paradox. How else do you describe a company with a stock market value of about $35 billion, where employees resort to tape and paper in place of window blinds, and a stalwart of the high-tech new economy that chooses an abandoned hospital as its corporate headquarters? And can there be another word for a company that proudly reports larger and larger losses, only to have its shares skyrocket? Even Jeff Bezos, the guy who started it all, can't seem to figure it out.
Our vision was very modest compared to what has actually happened, and I am the most surprised person on this planet as to what's happened to Amazon.com. I think anybody who would have guessed the actual outcome would need to be immediately institutionalized.
Now it's Amazon that's become an institution. There's even a term for what happens when traditional retailers get beat on the internet by an upstart. It's called getting Amazoned. 4 years ago, Amazon started selling books online. Now it has 13 million customers in about a dozen businesses, from toys and electronics to online auctions and internet commerce over wireless phones.
Amazon obviously has extremely grand ambitions about what the company can become, and if they are successful in expanding, which they have been thus far, they've created a much larger market opportunity for themselves than they ever could have had in books.
But with those opportunities come challenges, such as continuing to grow while bleeding massive amounts of red ink. After reporting an $86 million third-quarter loss, Amazon said it would triple marketing and other expenses in the fourth quarter.
Amazon.com has all the toys. Our big challenge is to let people know about these new categories. We've built the best toy store, we've built the best electronics store, so we just have to make sure people know about it.
And make sure customer orders are filled on time. During last year's holiday rush, Amazon was so short-staffed, the company ordered all executives to pitch in at the warehouse, often on graveyard shifts. Since then, Amazon has added thousands of warehouse workers and 3 million square feet of space. This is one of 9 distribution centers Amazon.com has opened up around the world. The company now has 10 times the warehouse space it did during the holiday season last year. Which means that for Amazon executives, helping sort products and pack boxes will be optional this year. While Amazon's losses are raising concerns on Wall Street, most analysts still believe the company's potential is huge.
I think Amazon's going to be an enormously profitable company down the road. And that's what you need to try to assess. When does profitability begin, and what's the magnitude of that profitability over an extended period of time? Current profitability is much less relevant than the value that the company can create, the cash that the company can generate over the next 5 to 10 years.
Wall Street expects Amazon's book business to move into the black this quarter, with music not far behind.
If, on the other hand, they can't show that the existing businesses, such as the book business, are profitable, and it seems like expenses are out of control, I think the street will lose patience fairly quickly.
Each time Amazon enters a new business, it adds to its growing list of competitors. Bezos remains unfazed.
I think there are going to be thousands of winners online. I think that there are also going to be thousands of failures online. But there are going to be so many companies that do well in different niches, pursuing different business strategies. Just like the physical commerce world, e-commerce is going to be richly varied. It's going to make a rainforest look like a non-diverse place.
The rainforest is home to the river that Amazon.com took as its name. Just as the Amazon is the world's largest river, Amazon.com intends to remain the dominant force in the world of e-commerce. Casey Wyand, CNN Financial News, Seattle.
Our special Moneyline series continues tomorrow when we capture that quintessential roaring 90s moment. One .com startup and a brand new stock on its first day of trading will take you inside an IPO.
Oh, it's so exciting to think that 3.5 years ago we were 8 people in a room, and now look where we're at, and it's just great, and I'm so proud of everyone.
And we head to B School, hear what today's MBA candidates have to say, and why Wall Street recruiters may not like it.
You can work on Wall Street and work the Wall Street hours, but you may not necessarily enjoy it. But then if you go into these new firms, these startups, you'll work the same hours, you'll enjoy it, you probably won't have to wear a suit to work, and you can wind up making more money than you would in Wall Street.
Our special Moneyline series continues tomorrow, inside an IPO and a trip to business school as we count down to the new year. Next, ahead of the curve, some of what you need to know tonight before the markets open tomorrow.
Ahead of the Curve is brought to you by Daytech Online. The rules of online trading are changing.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
Checking some of what could move the markets tomorrow, a few big names will be out with their latest earnings results, including Adobe Systems, FDX, and Nike. International trade figures are expected. And keep an eye on CMGI. After the bell, it reported a much smaller than expected loss and announced a 2-for-1 stock split on the news. It gained $35 in after-hours trading. That's Moneyline. I'm Willow Bay. Crossfire's next. Here's Bob Novak. Bob?
Well, thanks. Guess who people think did best in Monday's Republican presidential debate in Iowa? Was it George W. Bush? No. Was it John McCain? No. Steve Forbes? Not at all. It was Alan Keyes. So why is he considered out of the running? We'll ask Ambassador Keyes himself next in the Crossfire.
For all your financial news all the time, CNNFN.com. On the web, 24 hours a day.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Bell Atlantic, your guide through the wiles of communications.
It's a